Quilters, welcome to AccuQuilt Live. I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert. Thanks for joining us today. Emily's in the house. How are you, dear?
I'm excited to do some good eating tomorrow.
Very much good eating tomorrow. Very much good eating tomorrow. But today is going to be a great show.
Today's going to be awesome.
Yeah. All right. So where is everyone watching from? I was too busy in the comment section to realize that it was time. So lots of people wishing us a happy Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well from our entire team. Alicia's watching from Henderson, Illinois. And Ken is watching from snowy Logan, Utah, one of my favorite cities on earth. All right, let's showcase some of the new projects from our intro video. First up is Jeannie H. Let's see what she made. Emily, do you love this?
Oh my gosh, that's so creative.
Just snowflakes for days, right? And she used our cubes to make it.
Yes, those colors are perfect for winter.
So pretty. And I see signature blocks and half square triangles. It's beautiful.
So many beautiful things.
Next, we have Lori J. Oh, Lori, you had me the minute I saw this. This is actually hands down my favorite dye at AccuQuilt. This is the Morning Star dye, and I love all the things about this, especially that it's scrappy.
Yes, it almost gives it like a confetti vibe to it.
It does.
Just looks so celebratory and happy. And gorgeous.
I love it. Okay, next we have Patty G. Oh, ooh, Emily, look at this. So Patty used our cubes, and look at those tiny little sashing strips between that.
I know, I love the little squares on point too around the sashing.
Yeah, from our cube that's shape 6 and use shape 5 to go around it.
Yeah.
So pretty. And then last we have this really special project from Deanna S. So Deanna used our log cabin dye. And I think for the center she used cubes because it looks like triangle and a square.
Yeah.
With candy cane stripes.
That's just
so pretty for the holidays.
Seriously.
We have such talented quilters. We do. All right. Today's show is all about how to cut and sew blocks using the Go Washington's puzzle. Here's the sample block. Can you see it? It's so little.
It's so cute.
Just our little 4-inch block. I just love it. So here's the photo of the day. It is our puzzle. And the question of the day is, are you a puzzler? Now, everyone here in the Dream Studio are puzzlers. Well, Justin, are you a puzzler? Justin is. And in fact, Brock has a puzzle out usually all the time, like all year round. But for sure, for this holiday weekend, there's going to be puzzles at the Heller house, which is fun to sit and eat leftovers and do puzzles. So in the question of the day is, are you a puzzler? In the comment section, tell us yes or no. And if you're working on one right now, right? Yeah. All right, let's take a look. Oh, here, before we start, I'm going to show you this block. This is our North Carolina Star block. It is our die to try for the month of November.
Sure is.
And at the end of the show, we're going to tell you how many we have left because it's just a handful.
Yeah, it's not very many
like less
at
than
all.
20. So if you want to make sure you get one before it goes away, this is the North Carolina Star block.
Exactly.
All right, but today's die is all about the Washington's puzzle die. Now, I have to tell you, hands down, it is my, other than the Morning Star, which I love, this is my new favorite block on board die. Absolutely it is. It has all the shapes you need to create a 4-inch finished block. You can do it in 3 colors, you can do it scrappy, and each of the shapes are screen printed to help you keep track of your pieces. All of the shapes have that 1/4-inch seam allowance. And look at these specialized dog ears, Emily. This is going to help us put our block together, because what you're going to end up doing is sewing the rounded edges to the rounded edges and the straight edges to the straight edges.
It is a thing of beauty, Pam.
It truly is. And okay, we had this question the other day here in the studio. So we have some dies that are named for states, like the Alabama Beauty and the Arkansas Traveler and the Ohio Star. the North Carolina Star. So this is Washington's puzzle. Are we saying it's a state puzzle after the state of Washington?
I mean, might as well.
We're gonna.
Why not?
We're gonna say that it is. I grew up in Washington State, so
This
for
is
sure
for
we're gonna call
you.
it that. All right, so hey quilters, don't forget to check out our website. We have some really great deals and discounts right now on our website. Today I'm giving away one of our Go Washington's puzzle dies. Be sure and register for future events on the AccuQuilt event page for your chance to win. By registering, you'll receive event emails and you'll never miss an exciting tutorial. And the amazing Emily will announce the winner of our registered viewer at the end of our show. I'm excited. So for today's project, this is the Whimsical wall hanging, tilted Whimsical wall hanging. You're gonna need, here's your supply list. The Go Washington's puzzle die, a 6x12 cutting mat. You want 9 different fat eighths. Do you know what a fat eighth is, Emily?
Well, it's got to be smaller than a fat quarter.
There you go. Look at us doing math on a Wednesday. Or scrap fabric. And then you're going to need the 1.5 inch strip die and the 2.5 inch strip die for the border. And then the 4.5 inch strip die is for the big border.
That big set. Oh,
Yeah.
so pretty.
We're going to show you how to make it. And okay, this is perfect for scraps. It's perfect for fat eighths. And Emily is right. A fat eighth is smaller than a fat quarter. And it's a free download at AccuQuilt.com. It's called the Go Tilted Whimsy Wall Hanging. All right. Now, I want to talk about this die because so much of it is fun and I just have so much fabric I want to cut with it. Let's talk about the 3 shapes. Shape A is the center square, okay? See our center square? Shape B are these white triangles. They're half rectangle triangles, okay? Now, all of these triangles go the same direction, so you want all your fabric to face up.
Okay, so
The
no
shapes
fan
are
fold.
directional. If you fan fold, you're going to get a left and a right, and truly you only just want a left.
Right, okay.
Typically we tell you to fan fold over that shape B, right? And then shape C, this is also directional. So you want all of your fabric to face up. And again, if you fan fold it, you're gonna get half your pieces are gonna be backwards. Shape A is a square, you can fan fold in it. I'm just gonna use a bunch of scraps, okay? So that's my big pro tip. And I really, truly want you to make a test block before you start sewing your project so you get used to, having that fabric the way it is. Now, you know how I have yearly projects. The current year, all of my quilts that I made this year have striped binding because I love that. So for next year, I am going to use this die to create a block from every quilt I make, every step out I make. So on our shows, all those little samples, most of those I make. Erica makes some of them for our Tuesday shows. So every time we do a step out, I'm gonna make a block using the Washington's puzzle. So here is my fabric for shape A. Here, I'll put it right here so you can see it. It's white and it has these little black dots.
Cute.
This is gonna go with everything. So I bought a whole yard of this fabric, so I'll have enough for a quilt.
Oh, there you go.
And then when I'm done making enough blocks for a quilt, if I use on my background fabric, then I'm gonna buy a different background fabric and continue to make blocks throughout the year.
Oh, cute.
I'm really excited about this because they're super, super easy to make.
Oh, can you actually explain, because people are asking in the comments, Pam, what is a step out?
Oh, here. This is a step out. So step outs are samples of the blocks that the dies make. So every time we have a new show, or every time if we show the pickle dish block, or like this the North Carolina Star, I made this as a step out for the show for the launch.
Yeah.
We test the dies to make sure we have all the pieces and the pattern goes together correctly, right? And that the pieces cut correctly. And then for the launch and for all of our videos, we make what we call step outs, and then we put blocks together. So when you watch our videos, which are always, you can watch the Washington's Puzzle video if you go to our AccuQuilt website and find Washington's Puzzle, scroll down. There's a little video there, along with the block assembly instructions and all of those kind of things. And all of those pieces, when you see us cut and sew them together, those were made by me. I make those step outs. I know, kind of fun. So lots of them that I do, hundreds that I do in a year.
Oh my God.
So I'm excited for this.
Gotta do a step out quilt one of these days.
Okay, so that was my thought, and then I realized we use them here in the studio. So I guess, and guess if I make more than one.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we lay our fabric on our die and cut our pieces, because it's going to be so fast, Emily, tell us in the comments: are people puzzlers? I bet they are.
Oh my gosh, they absolutely are. Yes. Let me pull these up here. So we have Elaine loves puzzles.
Okay.
Paula does one puzzle every other year.
Oh, okay.
Carol says, my life is a puzzle.
Yes, I get that. I get that.
Hear that, Carol?
Yes. Yes. Trying to put all the pieces together.
Exactly. Our good friend Jackie says, yes, but not working on one currently.
Okay.
And yeah, we've had just lots of puzzlers in the comments.
I just love it. When I was a kid, that was like one of my favorite things to do, was to sit and put together puzzles. So, and I just love it. So,
Same.
All right. So now let's lay some fabric down on this die. First of all, quilters, I'm gonna kind of really use my scraps because I really want to start. You know, while I'm sewing today, I might as well sew for my quilt, right? So these are scraps that I had from my scrap bag at home. Here's some fat quarters. I'm going to show you a really cool trick that one of our educators showed us on how to cut fat quarters on this, because it's not wide enough.
Oh, sure, to give you that quarter inch.
Give her
on the
that
other side.
little bit of extra, right? So we're gonna line it up, and then we're gonna cut them, and then I'm gonna show you how to use the rest of the fat quarter to create a block. I know, I'm excited about that. Okay, so let's start with shape A, and I'm gonna do a couple of. I guess I'll do my fat quarter trick first. All right, so let's pick a couple of fat quarters that I had. Look at this.
Look how cute those all are.
Right?
All the stuff.
I know, fat quarters, they're pretty fun. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of find one that has, so my plan is if I have a patterned background, then I'm gonna try and have a solid center,
Okay.
right? But maybe, oh, here. Let's use this.
Ooh.
I know, I'm so excited about this. Okay, and then we'll use the orange. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you how to just cut using fat quarters on shape C first, and then I'll lay out the rest for my scraps. Okay? Because this is a super cool trick. And the video that it lives on was for the launch, and all of our videos live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, so you can go and watch them again. Okay, so now look, here's shape C. I'm just barely lining up the shape. Now you're gonna notice that the shapes are at an angle. You wanna lay your fabric over the shape, not the die board. Otherwise you're gonna waste fabric. Right. And that's where that lengthwise grain goes, okay? All right, so now, since I'm just using that, I'm gonna use a 6x6 mat.
That's right, why not?
Right? Okay, it's only gonna cut where there's fabric and a mat. This is on a 6x12 die board. It's gonna fit through all of our cutters, including that Go Me. All right, so I'm gonna cut these pieces, and Emily, while I'm cutting, tell us if people are puzzlers and if they're working on one.
Yes. Jeannie says she always did puzzles with her mom.
Aw.
Oh. Let's see, Connie says loves puzzles.
Yes.
Let's see, Nana not so much, but that's okay. Pat says.
Okay, Nana, we love you.
Exactly, and Pat says she's tried, but she gets too distracted.
Yeah.
And that's okay too.
That's okay too. It is.
Oh, Jolie, I can identify with this one. She is a puzzler, but my cat is not.
Oh, yes, these are charm squares. Sorry, somebody was asking. These are charm squares. They're 5-inch cut. And I bet in your stash you have some. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know, we were getting a question and we didn't know. Okay, so I've cut my charm square, and I've cut the first 2 pieces and I lined it up right there on the edge. Now I'm gonna lay this right here. Actually, I'm gonna lay it right here. Okay, and it's only gonna cut where there's fabric and a mat. So what I'm gonna do, Emily, is I'm gonna lay my mat right over this shape. Make sure I get the end. And I'm gonna stop right there, because the line to cut it is just above that.
Right.
All right, okay. So now I'm gonna run it through.
Oh, Pam, this is so clever. I can already
So
tell.
the concept is the same for layer cakes, which are 10-inch squares. These are 5-inch squares. And that'd be kind of fun to, cut them up. Okay, so here's my next pieces, okay? And then now you can see where I have enough fabric left to get the last 2. So really, truly, if you're using charm squares, if you cut it like this, then you're gonna get all the pieces.
Look at that.
I know, which is super cool. One of our educators, when we did the launch, our experts showed us how to do this.
Man.
Okay, so somebody asked a question. What is the biggest puzzle I've ever done? And I'm gonna tell you probably 2,500 pieces.
Wow.
Probably.
That is huge.
Yeah, our family, we're big puzzle people. So
I don't think I've ever gone above 1,000, just, for the
I
sake
think
of table
Brock
space.
has one that's coming up that's like 2,000, right? Biggest is 3,000. And the one you have now waiting to go is? Yeah. Apparently there's stuff on the puzzle table that needs to be moved so that they can get the puzzle out.
Yeah.
Okay, so now look. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stack up all my pieces, right? Because now they're all cut, and they're all cut the same direction. So when I go to lay it down, see, my pieces are right.
Yes. And actually, speaking of, how you're laying the fabric out, Robin's wondering what happens if you put the fabric face down instead of face up. I mean, if you did it all face down.
You have to do it either all facing down or all facing up.
Right, as long as it's not like a combination of the two, it would
Right,
still
you can't
be
fan
okay.
fold.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I like to lay fabric facing up so I can see the pattern on it.
Right.
Okay, so that's a great question, though. Okay, so let me show you how to cut. We talk about subcutting fabric. So for shape B, it's almost 2 inches wide. So I'm just going to add 1/4 of an inch on either side, and I rough cut a 2.5 inch strip.
Okay, that's perfect, because Connie was wondering if this is a good jelly roll die, so it sounds like this.
If you want to use it for the shape B, yeah, absolutely. Jelly rolls will not fit here
Okay, sure, right.
because it's wider than 2.5 inches, right? Okay, and then the width is, it's about 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to come here to 3 inches, okay? And I'm just going to cut, how many layers can we cut, Emily?
Up to 6.
Up to 6. It's important questions we have to ask everybody.
I know, right?
Right? Okay.
No, and it's so convenient to have all those layers, because you're just tripling,
Now
quadrupling
I'm just showing off, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So now this one, I left it on so you could see that salvage,
Sure.
lengthwise grain, parallel to those lengthwise blades. Okay. And we had a whole conversation about this when we were shooting the video for this, because we wanted to make sure that the lengthwise grain was parallel to those blades.
Exactly.
That's why it's on the die like that. Okay, so I have 6 layers of that, and I have some of these, but I'm gonna cut some scraps as well. So for my shape A, you only need one, right? So for this one, I think I'm gonna do a solid orange for this one.
Yeah, cute, yeah.
And then like ooh, look. Wait, hold please. I have to make sure I have all the pieces that I need here.
Hold for fabric, pause for fabric.
Hold for fabric checking. This one I think I will do the red.
Yeah,
That'll be kind of fun.
that's a good choice.
Okay. And again, I'm just gonna lay my fabric right over that shape A. And then for this, I have just a whole bunch of scraps. Okay. Now remember, I need 4 of them.
Right.
Okay. So this piece would be great if I had 2, and ta-da, I have 2. So I'm going to lay this fabric right over these 2 shapes. And look, here I have some more. And all the fabric's facing up.
There it goes.
Okay. So now I need a little bit of fabric for my centers. Hold please while I find
This is such
fabric.
fun fabric.
Okay, this is the best part of the whole thing because now I can just play.
Actually, Pat is wondering who makes the charm square star fabric.
Okay, this one, I have it at home. I want to think it's Riley Blake. And then I do have some Kona solids that are charm squares.
Oh, fabulous.
So you could use those for the centers as well. Okay. All right. But you know, I'm all the scrappiness. So I have all my fabrics laid out. Okay, and I think I have enough centers. I do. I almost did this.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh dear.
I read on social media where people do that. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut. Really, truly, it takes you so much longer to figure out which fabrics you're gonna use than it is to cut all the pieces, which by the way, I would never cut by hand.
Ditto.
Holy smokes.
You know, and I never had to, so.
Emily never learned how to quilt without a die, so lucky Emily.
I know.
All right. So now I have all my little pieces. Make sure you have 4. Okay. And look how they're all going the correct way.
Yes. And boy, is it just so satisfying when you've got just the tiniest little peelies at, you know, from
Right.
the shapes cut out. It's so
Right.
nice.
And you could actually, like, if your center was solid, you could totally make the center solid, and then all 4 of these little pieces right here could be all 4 different colors.
Oh, sure. That'd be cute.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that sends Erica over the edge a little bit, but I'm totally down for it. She when it gets too scrappy, she just gets all freaked out. Okay. All right, and then look, all of my pieces are left. They're left side. Okay. All right, so now let's talk about how to sew them together. Ooh, I'm gonna move my fabric. All right. All right, so the question before we put them together is, how can the AccuQuilt system help me bust up my stash and use up my scraps? How many of you in your stash have charm squares or jelly rolls or layer cakes that you have no clue what to do with them? Boy, you could totally use those jelly rolls as the center of your Washington's puzzle block. Again, these are just scraps from my scrap bag, and I'm super excited to use it. So the only fabric that I bought for this entire project was a yard of this black and white fabric, okay? And this is a great chain piecing block. Okay, so let's start here, and we're gonna make one. So we're gonna put this in the center, and it's like a 9 patch, right? 3 and 3 and 3 at an angle, okay? And I'm gonna show you this trick that I discovered when I was putting the pieces together. Okay.
So cute.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Let's see. I think, does that other one that you did, the third one, need to be rotated
Yes.
a little bit? Yeah.
See?
Ah.
This is why we're here. And I'd have figured it out because I'm going to show you why. These fit right here. And you're going to notice that when I put this together, the way I know that I've lined it up is that this is flat and the top of shape B is flat. This is rounded and the top of shape B is rounded.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how we know we're doing it right. And the same here.
Okay.
See how they line up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to just lay out my blocks. I'm just going to do 2 rows for you, or 2 blocks for you. Okay, so look at that. All right, so there's my first block. And then let's do my second block. So I'm going to come here. And it helps, Emily, to just have these stacks.
Oh yeah, and you're just making
Because
little...
then you know you've done it the right way.
That's true. All you have to do is do it perfect the one time, and then
Right.
it's just a
Yeah,
matter
make
of-
sure you do it right the first time.
Perfect.
Otherwise, you're going to sew your blocks together
Look
wrong.
at that go,
Okay.
though. I love these colors coming together.
No, aren't they fun?
I love the oranges together.
Yeah,
Happy color.
it's kind of fall like that. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here and I'm going to sew this row together and I'm going to press towards my shape C, which is this shape. And then I'm going to sew these rows together and I'm going to press towards the middle,
Yes.
which is shape A, this row together, press to C. That way my pieces are going to nest when you sew them together. All right, so Emily, while I'm sewing blocks together, tell us if people are doing puzzles.
Let's see. Oh yes, lots of. Oh, and Judy says she says, please tell Pam to close her rotary cutter. I'm afraid she's going to get cut.
Thank you.
Very
Love
sweet
it
of
when
you.
people are in charge.
Thank
Here,
you,
hold on.
Judy.
I'm just
She's-
making sure I'm doing this right.
Exactly, making sure you're all good. Let's see. Kelly says, my mother was a puzzler. She worked a 9,000 piece 16 chapel puzzle at one time.
The Sistine Chapel, how many pieces was it? 9,000?
9,000.
Oh, hey, guess what we don't have on, guys? Here, let's plug in our
Oh, your
iron real
little-
quick. It's okay, we'll plug in our iron.
Iron, yay, and we can just keep talking about puzzles.
Yeah, 9,000 pieces, kudos. I wonder how long it took
9,000.
her.
Unbelievable. Regina says, I work on puzzles on jigsawplanet.com. They have a patchwork category, and you can also search for a quilt category.
How fun.
She works them every day on the
Brock.
computer.
Wow,
That sounds awesome.
that sounds fun. Okay, so I'm just sewing my pieces together.
Yes.
Holy smokes. Okay. So much easier when I'm not chatting and talking. Okay, so 9,000 pieces is a pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is a lot
Okay.
of pieces. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see. This. Oh, Mary says this Grammy is not a fan. Rather be sewing.
You know, I am totally down for sewing whenever I can sew, but sometimes in life you just have to take a break.
Exactly.
You know, you just have to be able to say, you know, I think I'm going to do something else creative for a minute.
Exactly. I know.
Okay.
And in my household, I do them very much like once in a blue moon, just simply because of the fact, that if I don't do it within, a sitting or two, then the cats are going to get involved.
Oh, right.
And, inevitably, in virtually every puzzle I own, there's at least a couple pieces missing.
Yeah. Is there a cat's involved? Okay?
Exactly.
So look at this. Oh.
All of the things.
All right. So again, quilters, a great chain piecing project, a great way to use up your scraps and use up your stash.
So true.
Okay. And don't forget, if you have other questions,
Yes. Let me
be
check.
sure and ask us. All right. So now I'm going to start with my next row.
Indeed. I'm curious to see if we do have any more questions. Let's check.
I know. Let's
shall
see if we do.
Okay. Could you not fan fold and cut for 2 blocks?
Which is what I did.
Yeah, that's just what you did.
Yes.
Perfect. Can you spray static guard on your mat so it doesn't have as much static on it?
I have never done that. So I don't know.
Yeah, Pam does the slide, don't lift trick.
Slide, don't lift. Yeah, I would not ever spray anything on my mat. I would just feel like it would leave like a residue or something.
Yeah, it could transfer onto your and like stick to your fabric, and could be
Right.
a cranky maker.
It could be cranky. Okay, so now I have my pieces and I'm going to press towards this center, okay? Because my iron is now hot. Hey, we have these irons and pressing mats on our website.
Oh yeah,
Check 'em
they're
out.
so handy.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's wondering what the project is behind me.
Oh, talk about it.
And this happens to be the Go Washington's diamond wall hanging pattern. It's just a gorgeous piece.
Fabulous.
You can hang it, obviously, we have it horizontally behind me, but it's beautiful vertical up and down as well. It almost reminds me of that project we had that it just gives you like that almost stained glass look a little
Yes.
bit. And I think the black background is just so striking. I think that might be my signature of 2023 is just everything black background.
Oh, yeah.
That could be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, so now look how I'm putting this together, and it's going to line up, right? I just think it's so great because all the pieces have those specialized dog ears.
Yes.
And so if you can sew a 1/4-inch seam, quilters, you can totally make this project. I feel like you can use any AccuQuilt die if you can cut and sew a 1/4-inch seam.
So true.
There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep going to my next row. All right, Emily, tell us if there are puzzlers.
Love it. Yes. All of the puzzlers. So
Puzzlers.
Deborah loves to puzzle with my daughter. We do Disney puzzles and then we glue it together and she hangs them.
Oh, we've done that in the past, yeah.
Yeah,
When my kids were little.
see, that is so much fun because especially if it's like one of those really, I mean, sometimes these puzzles are just works of art.
We, for sure, have puzzles that are interesting. You know, like, I've done like landscapes or,
Sure.
those kinds of puzzles.
Have you ever done the puzzles where they're not quite puzzle shapes? They're like, creatures or moons,
Oh, yes.
that
yes,
kind of thing.
I on occasion have done those, yes.
Those are that like adds a whole nother level to it.
Whole new level. Whole new level. All right, here, and now I'm going to add my last pieces. Okay, so look at this. See how it's coming together, the whole block?
Ah,
It's super fast.
look at you go.
I know. I when I was making step outs for this, it was so fun. And I must have sewn, I don't know, I think I have a half a dozen or so over there. But then I realized, wait, I want to have a background that's the same. Yeah. So I stopped. And now I have the background that I want. Okay.
So fun.
And then I can sew them together. And then we have a super cool trick how to show you to make the sashing, which is super fun.
I love
All right,
this.
Miss Emily, are we good? People
Yes.
telling us about their puzzles. Don't forget if you have questions.
Yes, and I will check that as well. I do have a fun comment from our own Katie. She says, I'm puzzled how I had 2 horses still in the pasture and 1 not.
Oh, Katie,
had a
go find
runaway.
your horses, sweetie. Go find them.
And then,
Katie's just brand new married. Congratulations to our
yes,
Katie.
congratulations, Katie. We're so happy for her.
Okay, is this
that's
right?
awesome.
Hold on here.
Ooh, and we do have a good question from Carol. Carol wonders, can you use a dryer sheet on the mats to cut down on static?
Okay, I've heard people say that, and I, again, have never done that. But if I was going to use something, that would help.
Yeah.
Quilters, if you just give it a little love,
Yeah.
slide, don't lift. Okay, now these I've pressed towards the middle. So the center row, I'm going to press away.
Okay.
And then my seams will nest. I'm all about a good nesting seam.
Exactly. I should get you nesting dolls for Christmas. Oh, good. Katie says horses are all back. We're good.
Oh, hallelujah, Katie. like losing, I don't know. Got to keep the horses and the children all where they're supposed to be. Okay, so look at these cute blocks. Okay, now because I've nested my seams, I can just come right here and sew them together. So these make 4-inch finished blocks, so you could use it with your 4-inch cube or your 8-inch cube. Lots of options there. 4-inch setting triangles, turn them on point. Just some really fun ways to use it.
Yeah.
Emily, do you have big, after we do our special show on Friday, I am going to sit and sew.
Oh, that's a great plan.
Yeah,
What are we
sit and
gonna
sew and eat
do?
leftovers.
See, there you go. I'll probably do something similar.
Yeah.
You know, just maybe even a puzzle does sound really like.
I know, I feel like everybody's going to go out today and buy a puzzle for the holiday.
Exactly. It's like the perfect just lazy day activity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to sit around with family and chit chat or just watch Netflix and just
Yes.
puzzle on away.
Our good friends do a turkey bowl on Thanksgiving, and I do not. I am the ref. They give me a whistle, Brock.
Fit. Brock, we need to get
I
Pam
know.
a whistle.
Brock is like, there is no whistling happen here.
sound
Okay,
effects.
so now I'm going to sew this last row. They give me a whistle. It's super fun.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And so the turkey bowl consists of
The turkey bowl precedes the turkey.
Ah.
The turkey bowl's in the morning, and hopefully it won't be freezing cold.
Oh, right.
And then dinner or lunch is like at 1.
Oh, that's so
So,
nice. Yeah.
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 Oh,
So no, they give me a whistle. It's pretty fun.
it's awesome.
And I am in favor of the youngest child playing,
Agree.
right?
Yes.
So if somebody tries to get the ball from the youngest child, I blow my whistle and call a foul.
there you go.
And then said child gets to make a touchdown,
Oh,
which is kind of fun.
that's so sweet.
I know. We have good friends, so we've done it with them for years, and it's been fun.
That's so sweet.
All right. Okay, I am totally saving these pieces
Right?
for future blocks. Okay, look at this. And now I'm just gonna press it away so my center is nice and flat and my block is nice and flat.
Yes.
Because they're only 4 inches, you really wanna make sure they come together
Yeah.
the correct way.
Oh, it's so cute.
I know. And do you not love the background?
I really do. Yeah.
I know. I feel like, in a couple, like once a quarter, I should show my stack of Washington's puzzles, Washington's puzzle pieces, blocks. There we go. Look at that.
Let's see. Oh, we are having lots of questions about lengthwise grain. Would you be able to kind
Yes.
of demonstrate one more
Yes.
time about, how we find
Yes.
that?
Let me find the die. Okay. All right. The lengthwise grain is, you can see this piece right here. This has the selvage edge.
Uh-huh.
The lengthwise grain is parallel to that selvage edge. Now look, when I pull lots of stretch, but look, high and tight, that's what you want.
Yeah, it resists.
So when you lay your fabric down on this die, the shapes are turned so that just a piece of it at a time goes through the rollers, so you don't get, it's like speed bumps, Take one wheel at a time, it's much smoother.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that the lengthwise grain is here, because when we cut this now, the lengthwise grain is here, because this is the outside of your block. So of all the places you want that lengthwise grain, you want it nice and tight on the outside.
Exactly.
If you line your fabric up like this over this shape, it's going to be skewed,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so lengthwise grain so that you get that nice clean edge.
Exactly.
That's a great question.
I think the salvage is just is such a great, it's almost like a cheat sheet too, because as
It
long as
is.
that salvage is, that parallel to
Right.
the dye, you're good.
So here's something fun, and then I'm going to show you how to make sashing. This is a 12-inch block that we made using our 8-inch cube. So look at how fun this would be. You could totally change out the centers.
Oh, how
You could make it for the middle.
cute.
You could use Erica's idea of just solids.
Pretty, yeah.
Okay. So think about using your 8-inch cube to make 12-inch blocks, or you could put, you know, one in each. This would make Erica nuts. Okay. Lots of things to use with your cubes. Okay. All right. Now let me show you the sashing on this block, or in this project. Okay. Right here. This is sashing. These are borders, 2.5-inch strips for the borders. The sashing is 4.5 inches by 1.5 inches, so it finishes to 4 by 1. Okay, never in your quilting head should you ever cut strips. We have 18 sizes of strip dies.
Exactly.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cut sashing strips with your strip die. So the trick is you want to cut the widest section first. So they're 4.5 by 1.5. You want to cut 4.5-inch strips first. Okay. So there's 2 on the die board. I just rough cut 9.5 inches, just to add it 1/4 of an inch. Okay. You want to make sure the fold is parallel to this black line.
Right.
Okay. And for this project, you probably only need one width of fabric because it's a tiny little project.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to cut them.
Love this. Ooh, and let me
All right,
just
Emily, while it's
see.
cutting, any questions, or do we have tons of puzzlers?
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, but well, so Patricia's wondering, how would you tell where the lengthwise grained is if you are using scraps with no salvage showing?
Okay, so look right here. Okay, lots of stretch. High and tight. Listen,
Yeah.
this is the lengthwise grain. That high and tight
Yeah.
is what you're looking for.
And it's almost like a ping sound when it's that
is.
high and tight. Yeah, it's it's a very high little squeak.
Yes. Okay, so now I've cut my 4.5-inch strips. Okay. Now I'm going to lay them out on my 1.5-inch strip die. Cut the widest one first. Then I'm going to come right here at 90 degrees. And I can fan fold back and forth 6 layers. Okay.
Perfect.
And then I could take my other strip, go all the way down the die board.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But I think this will be enough for our sashing. Okay. Then you're going to put your mat on and run it through the cutter. Now our strip dies, for the Go Me, we have 2 strips that are made for the Go Me.
Yes.
All the other strips will fit through your Go or your Go Big.
Exactly.
Okay.
I know that Go Me is just such a perfect. I've seen so many comments lately on how folks are getting them for grandkids. And,
Oh yeah.
they're little helpers in their lives, and it's
Yep.
just so perfect.
Okay. So now look at this. So now I have perfect sashing strips.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I think
That's how it should work.
that's a ta-da moment for
That
sure.
is a big ta-da. So if you were cutting cornerstones that you want, for your quilt, they're just going to be 1.5 inches, right? Square. So I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to use a smaller mat. Okay. So I'm going to cut strips first.
Right, right.
This is strip die magic at its finest, quilters.
Oh my gosh, it really, really is. Oh, this is an interesting question from Darlene.
Okay.
She's wondering, I loved the design, but would like it to be about 8 inches. Is there a way to Well, I guess with this die, would there be a way to make it an 8-inch?
Oh, no, it's going to truly finish at 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I've cut my 1.5-inch strips. So I'm going to lay them right here at 90 degrees. And you need them for the cornerstones, right?
Exactly.
So I'm going to put my mat over.
Oh, that's perfect.
I mean, this is the only way to ever cut sashing and cornerstones. Okay, ready? And now I have cornerstones
Oh,
that go on the edge of my sashing strips. So you would sew a block. Oh, let's do a fun one. You would sew the sashing to either side of the block, okay, like this.
you know, I guess if you did add the right amount of sashing, you could theoretically bring the
You could,
block
I mean,
to
if
8
you had 4-inch
inches.
sashing, you
Yeah.
could, or I guess you would want it 2 inches on either side, so 2.5-inch strip. And then for this, the cornerstones, you would make strips in between.
Yeah, that's so cute.
All right, you want to follow the pattern to add that outer border using your 2.5-inch strip die. Once the top is complete, you want to layer batting between the top and the backing. Pin or baste your layers together and quilt as desired. Add that binding and make sure you miter your corners. So quilters, be sure and share your finished projects with us on our social media platforms. All right, Emily, she is going to announce the winner of the Go Washington's puzzle die today. I'm so excited.
Oh, this is my favorite time of day. Okay. All right. The winner is, drum roll, please, Linda Fay from Hampton, Virginia.
Congratulations, Linda. You're going to love this die. All right, quilters, just a reminder, this month's die to try is the Go North Carolina Star. It is only available to the end of the month or while supplies last, and we have less than 20 left. Get yours today. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. To learn more about your quilting craft, be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for live events every Tuesday and Wednesday. You can check out the events page on the AccuQuilt website for more details on upcoming shows. And if you're looking for even more inspiration, visit our blog for exclusive tutorials filled with tips and tricks. And remember, at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt more. Join us again on Friday, November 25th at 12 noon Central Time for Black Friday specials. And join us on Monday for a great idea sales for Cyber Monday, again at 12 noon Central Time. Don't forget to join Eric and me on Tuesday, November 29th at 12 noon Central Time as we give an update on our Quilt the World Paying It Forward event. And join us for next week's AccuQuilt Live as we cut and sew a block using the Go Plated Block Die. Be sure to register for all of our live events on the AccuQuilt event page for the chance to win door prizes. On behalf of our entire team, we'd like to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.